Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into some pretty wild rumors swirling around a new Nokia phone, the S25 Pro.
That's right. Our main source, say C3MSGFO, is making some, well, bold claims.
Bold is one word for it. They're saying Nokia's aiming to, quote, dominate Android phones.
With specifications that exceed all expectations and a price that could change the markets entirely. Big talk.
Exactly. So our mission today is to unpack all this. Are these leaks credible? Could Nokia really be solving some of our biggest smartphone headaches?
And importantly, what does it all mean for you, the potential buyer?
Okay, let's jump right in. The source paints this S25 Pro as a, quote, monster device. And, well, the core specs they list are something else.
They certainly are. Let's break them down.
All right, so first up, a Super AMOLED screen, 6.89 inches, pretty big 4K resolution, and Gorilla Glass Victus protection.
Okay, 4K on a phone is interesting, very high res, maybe good for VR, but battery drain could be a concern.
And under the hood, this is new. A Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite chip. They say it's a qualitative leap in performance, AI the works.
Snapdragon 8 Elite. That naming isn't standard Qualcomm branding, we know. It could imply a custom version, maybe higher clocked, or perhaps it's just speculative naming from the source, but it definitely signals top-tier performance intent.
Then there's the RAM. Get this. Up to 18 GB or maybe even 24 GB. The source calls it fictional RAM, which is quite a term.
Fictional RAM is colorful, yeah. Look, 18 GB is already high-end. 24 GB is, well, it's almost unprecedented in a phone. We're talking serious multitasking power, maybe for advanced on-device AI or future-demanding apps. Pushing boundaries, for sure.
And storage to match. 512 GB or a full terabyte plus microSD support, which is nice to see, and it's expected to run Android 15.
So, taking all that together, that Elite chip, the massive RAM Nokia, or at least these rumors, are painting a picture of a device aiming squarely at the absolute peak of performance, really pushing the envelope for Android flagships.
But raw power isn't everything, right? The source says Nokia is focusing on the two things we all complain about: battery life and camera quality.
Ah, the perennial smartphone struggles. So what are the rumored solutions?
Okay, for the battery, brace yourself. A 15,000 milliamp hour capacity. 15,000 milliamp with fast and wireless charging.
Whoa, okay, hold on. 15,000 milliamp.
Yeah.
That's enormous, like 2 to 3 times typical flagship battery.
I know. Can you even imagine forgetting your charger for a weekend trip and actually being okay?
That's the dream, isn't it? No more battery anxiety. But from an engineering standpoint, that immediately raises flags. How thick is this phone? How heavy? And how do you manage the heat from charging and discharging such a beast?
Good points. The leak doesn't really get into those practicalities, does it?
No, and those are crucial. A massive battery is great on paper, but the phone feels like a brick or gets too hot. The user experience suffers. It's a major trade-off.
Right, and the cameras also sounds pretty powerful. A 200 megapixel main sensor.
Which we've seen before, but it's still a huge number. Often relies heavily on pixel binning for better low light.
Plus a 48 megapixel ultra-wide, a 16 megapixel depth sensor, and then interestingly, an 8 megapixel fourth sensor. No word on what that one does.
Could be macro, could be telephoto, could be something else entirely. It suggests versatility, aiming for strong performance across different shot types. And the front camera.
A 64 megapixel selfie camera. They call it super clear.
So again, very high specs across the board on the imaging front too. They're clearly aiming for the camera-focused crowd as well.
Okay, so we have these, frankly, almost unbelievable specs. Monster processor, potentially absurd RAM, a revolutionary battery, top-tier cameras. Now, the biggest shocker maybe, the price.
Ah, yes, the price. Yeah. This is where leaks often get optimistic.
Well, according to the source, despite all this, the starting price is rumored to be around $340 USD.
$340, seriously?
That's what it says. Roughly 28,000 Indian rupees. They call it very competitive. Launch expected late this year.
Competitive doesn't even begin to cover it. For those kinds of specs, $340 would be market-shattering. It just doesn't align with the component costs we know for things like high-end chips, large OLED screens, massive batteries, and complex camera modules.
So serious skepticism is warranted there.
Absolutely. And interestingly, the source itself apparently included comments from readers expressing that same skepticism. People questioning if that price would ever hold true in their local markets after taxes and import duties.
Right, the reality check. Some apparently said if the price balloons, they might as well just get an iPhone or another established flagship.
And that's the crux of it, isn't it? There's the elite hype, and then there's market reality. A $340 price tag for this spec sheet seems almost impossible to deliver globally without cutting corners somewhere significant. Or perhaps it's based on some massive subsidy or a very specific regional strategy. It raises a huge question mark.
So wrapping this up then, what does it all mean for you listening right now? Well, these Nokia S25 Pro leaks paint a picture of a potential game changer. Incredible specs, that potentially revolutionary battery, powerful cameras.
All supposedly at a price point that could turn the whole market upside down. It sounds amazing.
But the big question remains, can Nokia actually pull this off? Will this phone truly deliver on these, well, unprecedented promises? Or will the real-world price, the actual availability, and maybe those engineering challenges we talked about, will those be the things that ultimately decide if this phone makes waves or just fades away?
It's definitely one to watch as we head towards the end of the year.
Oh.
Will the hype meet reality? We'll have to wait and see.